Right before recording this video, I wasn't motivated to just sit down and talk about it. Why is that? Why I wasn't motivated? Well, there is a lot of stuff to do. We're gonna simply talk about it step-by-step way. So whenever I just sit down to just talk about, for example, this exact topic, I really want to just share with you the knowledge. For some reason, my mind started to generate some good ideas. For example, we need to, change the script we are talking about. Or we need to just change the way we are, for example, change the way we use the microphone, or just try to connect it to PC or something like this. Simply started to generate a lot of ideas. But sometimes your brain can actually generate wrong ideas. For example, I really wanted to just change the whole script for this video, even though I didn't know how to change it. And it was really big problem for me. I really wanted to talk in a way that I am not me when I'm talking in that way. It just simply ruined, I would say, everything about it. Everything became so much harder for me to just sit down and talk about it. So whenever you're not motivated to do something, it is probably because you have some resistance towards doing something. First thing first, what you should remember and what you should acknowledge is that your brain is a problem generating machine. It can actually solve problems, but it can generate problems even more than actually exist. So whenever I was thinking about, for example, I'm gonna talk for this video, I try to overcomplicate it in a way that my mind cannot handle it. So for example, I really wanted to change the script. I really wanted to just have a lot of B-rolls here. I really wanted to have a lot of editings here. But then I just realized it will take a lot of time for me to talk about it, and I'm not so motivated to do this, so maybe not. Maybe we wouldn't do that. And that's when actually everything went wrong. Just need to understand, you need to acknowledge and be conscious about it. Your brain will generate more problems that it exists. And the best way to stop it is to try to, first of all, acknowledge that you have this. For example, I realized that my brain generated a lot more problems than I really needed to. So for example, in order to make this video, the only thing I need is simply record myself on a camera and maybe microphone. And that's pretty much it. Everything else I'll change somewhere in the future when I'll be ready for it. Or I'm gonna change it step by step, not like super easily. So whenever you just simply acknowledge it, try to again see it as it's not actually relevant to you right now. Whenever you just want to overcomplicate stuff, not exactly you, but your brain will try to overcomplicate it and will try to say to yourself that no, we really need to make it really good. And that's when you wouldn't do it, because your brain sometimes will work against you. It just cannot handle the thoughts that it actually generates. That's why you're not motivated to do pretty much everything. And that's how I felt in the past. Whenever I wanted to just record myself on a camera, I really wanted to talk so clearly to you. I really just focusing on my voice, on the pronunciation I have. I really focus on the B-rolls. I just focus on the things that are not matter. Because whenever I'm talking to you, you can understand me pretty much. Even though I'm making mistakes, you can understand me. I'm focusing on the main idea of this idea. I need to share with you the idea that sometimes your brain can actually generate more problems than it exists. And that's when everything becomes a lot more easier for me. And if it's still hard for you, try to lower your standards. And this is the best thing I can do. In the previous video, like right before this video, I talked about embrace your cringe. It wasn't about cringe itself, it was about lowering your standards, your baseline. So whenever you're just trying to higher up your baseline, to be someone that you are not right now, you will fail. I mean, it's good to strive for it and just simply improve yourself towards doing something else, but technically, it will just hurt yourself. I am right now recording a lot more better than I recorded in the first videos. But in a way that is actually just, I'm talking to you much more clearly. I'm focusing on the words that I'm having right now. And that's when everything became so much easier for me. So if you're having problems with pretty much everything, and everything feels so hard to you, and you're just not motivated to do it, first thing first, try to acknowledge the fact that your brain is actually an anxious generating machine. And let me give you another example. Whenever I wanted to just draw, first thing first, whenever I wanted to draw, came to me the idea that I need to draw anatomy. And I hate anatomy because it's overcomplicated to me. I cannot handle that many information. And whenever I was thinking about anatomy, I wasn't motivated to do it. It was super hard for me, super complex. My mind would tell me, no, we wouldn't spend any energy towards it. So, instead of simply like giving to those ideas like we are not motivated towards doing drawing itself, no, try to switch your attention, not from the drawing, but from the topic you are coming up to the drawing, I would say. So whenever you just want to draw, and you don't want to draw anatomy right now, and you just feel like overcomplicated stuff, try to minimize or lower your baseline towards anatomy. For example, if you really think that muscles are complicated, try to lower yourself, your baseline, to a basic anatomy. For example, basic shapes, or basic, like, I would say, action line, and something like this. So simply lower your standards towards this. The second example is whenever I was wanting to just generate a lot of video games, or simply make a lot of video games. I really wanted to just create a video game at that moment. I really want to make, but whenever I was just sit there and I want to make a video game, I had a thought that we need to learn a lot of C++. It was super overcomplicated to me because I don't know why I want to do what I want to do, and there is a lot of knowledge I need to just simply comprehend within my mind. It's just so much to me. So instead, I tried to find some better courses that actually teach me some basics about game developing that will inspire me, and that will show me that I can do something. It's not bad to see something that is inspiring to you. So simply look up to the information that is inspiring, that will help you to go to the place you want to be. Even though some of the courses there are actually a lot more better than others, but if they are super complex to you, you wouldn't accomplish anything. You just wouldn't start even doing it. So instead, I recommend you to just try to find something that will inspire you, or have the ideas, have the goals to yourself that will actually move you towards finishing your game. Specifically to me, my personal life, like not exactly in the courses, but like in my life, whenever I just wanted to, specifically yesterday, I wanted to create a game. And whenever I was working on a player controller, whenever I just, I would say, coding the movements and some, for example, jumping, sprint, and something like this, sometimes code didn't work the way I really wanted to be. And my mind started to think about overcomplication at that moment. He really wanted to have something in my game that is not relevant right now. For example, we have a bag in my game, or I don't know, an error, I would say. Sometimes you just simply, like, gravity can be super high in this whole game, and I don't know how to fix it. And your brain will actually generate this exact problem. It just came up by itself. And that's when everything went wrong. I really didn't feel like sitting there and recording about it and actually just finishing my player controller. So instead of just simply forcing myself to accomplish it, I'm gonna switch my goal from player controller, for example, to doing something similar in the game itself. For example, building up, or just coding a spike system, coding a death screen, coding some UI, or coding something that is a lot more easier and engaging for me right now. So the main idea that you need to just simply, in the conclusion, let's conclude everything. At the end, the thing about your mind is just it will generate a lot of ideas. And the thing you need to remember is just sometimes it will generate so many ideas that you cannot handle. And the best thing you can do is to acknowledge it, because you have a lot of problems, and try to not give in to your anxiety. And try to simply move on to something that is a lot more easier, within the exact same sets of stuff. if you're a drawer, or if you're an if you're an artist and you just like to draw something, for example, you really like to draw furniture, but at that specific day you really felt like, it will be super hard for me to just sit down and do it. Instead of focusing on the furniture, focus on, for example, drawing nature, or focus on drawing architecture, or focus on drawing something that is similar to your goal, that will definitely move you towards your goal. So for example, your goal is to make a house, for example, draw a house. So within the house you can focus on a lot of things. For example, fixing perspective, coloring stuff, drawing basic shapes, drawing windows, drawing something else. Whenever you just feel tired to just do, try to switch your attention from one thing to another. That will still move you towards one goal. That's the best thing I can say to you. And let me leave you another example, because I really want to just give you the idea that it's actually working. I wanted to be a musician in the past. I really wanted to just, play some music. It was super interesting to me, super interesting. But whenever I was sitting and just trying to learn some music, I knew that we need to learn music theory. It was so complicated to my brain. I don't know anything about music, and music theory was super hard. And that's when my music, I would say, career just simply exploded, just simply vanished. Now I understand why is that. I understand that my brain simply tried to overcomplicate stuff. I knew that I couldn't handle music theory. So instead, next time, I'm gonna try to focus on the things that I can do. Within the music theory, there are topics that are really interesting to me. I don't remember the name of the topics because I just simply stopped doing music. Math itself, yeah, indeed, about the math too. For the past, when I really wanted to just, prepare myself for the exams, I just caught myself on the idea that I don't just simply learn about Newton's third law, even though it's all about the physics. I don't know. So whenever, whenever I was like learning, for example, topic, algebraic expressions, or system of equations. Okay, let's talk about it. Or some parabolas, or something, some similar shit. Doesn't matter. So whenever I'm just thinking about one topic, and whenever it just gets overcomplicated to me, I try to switch to some other topic that will still move me towards like learning math. Whenever I couldn't do a system of equations, I just switch the topic to, for example, exponents, learning about exponents and something like this. Whenever I was simply bored of exponents, I just switch my brain to something else. And then after that, I can actually come back to the idea that was hard for me previously, because my brain can actually generate a lot more power, I would say, and then everything will be so much easier. So yeah, just simply switch your, I would say, attention towards something else, and then after 4 or 5 switches, I would say, come back to the first thing that was really complicated to you. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!